All right, so this is what I have here. This is a coil of rubber garden hose, and I believe there's probably 7 of them, and it's basically set out on the concrete driveway here, and you have a lead in is here. That's the lead in part of the pipe, and then in the middle of the coil you actually have the lead out pipe. Okay, and I have these zip tied together so that they form I don't know, it's a scale. I would say that you got about a 7 foot across on the concrete. Now the purpose of this is that the heat from the sun is going to warm up the cement, and the black rubber hose is going to absorb some of the heat from the sunlight, and as the water travels around the coil, it enters at a certain temperature, and then it exits at hopefully a higher temperature. And this is the submersible pump that actually is put into a swimming pool. The water's pumped out, pumped through my coil, and then the result of the water that after it's been heated up is pumped back up to the pool. But the challenge is with this setup is that if the sun isn't out, then you actually get a cooling effect because the water traveling through this coil ends up giving up the heat rather than putting heat in it. So the challenge is, what I'd like to do is have a switch that powers this submersible, that when the sun isn't out, the switch turns off, so the pump stops, so the water doesn't circulate. But when the sun comes out, that the pump starts again, and then the water starts to circulate. So as we start using more of solar energies, and this isn't electrical solar, this is heat energy from solar, but as we start making better use of solar technologies, hopefully we can find better switches. Well, the deal is that I started working on this a couple years ago, and I could not find a solar or a photo switch that would turn my pump on and off. So the challenge is I'm going to have someone design me something that will basically, you're going to be able to set it so that if you have the higher rating on the solar cell, you can adjust it up so that it's only turning on when you got really bright sunlight, not an overcast day like today, because a photocell is going to activate as soon as there's any kind of light, and obviously direct sunlight is what's necessary to make one of these run. So the challenge is out there is anybody who can develop a switch that is adjustable, where you can basically turn it, it will activate when the sun's out and indirect sunlight, and you can adjust it so that it switches off when there isn't enough sunlight to keep this thing going. So that's today's deal. I'll talk a little bit about the program today, and this will sort of serve as the context about what this design needs to be able to do.